Hello and welcome to the Football Parliament podcast, your one stop destination for all your football debates, opinions, and discussions. Today at the Parliament, I'm joined by Chirag and Vedant as we witness Chelsea and Real Madrid play a 1-all draw in Madrid, and it is all to play for in London. 8 days later, what should I say about this? Chirag, firstly, let's start with you. Are you happy with the result?
See, for any Chelsea fan, if you said this before the kickoff that Chelsea is going to get a 1-all draw, any fan would have taken that. I would say this is much better than a 0-0 score or a defeat because we have the away goal advantage. And considering the intensity in the second semi-final leg that we can have and the possession-based game we played, we can definitely go for a better result. And I still feel that the balance is in Chelsea's favor right now with 60-40 to Chelsea or rather 70-30 to Chelsea according to me. But I definitely know Vedant will have different opinions. But if a Chelsea fan took this score after the kickoff, after the match ended, well, mostly after the half an hour mark or the first half, I would definitely say Chelsea would have ended the draw in the first half itself, not just the first leg, but the first half itself, if Chelsea would have capitalized on their opportunities. Over to you, Vedant.
Vedant, yeah, Vedant, according to you, who do you think would be the
See,
more
the
happier
happier
party right
side,
now?
yeah, the happier party right now, in my opinion, has to be Chelsea because they have the away goal and obviously it acts as an advantage. Second thing being, I think still, not being biased or anything, I still feel that Real Madrid will go through because you had the chance to silence the devil and you couldn't in the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium, anyways. So, yeah, that's it.
No, I would just say, Vedant, being a neutral fan, let's talk about the first 30 minutes of the game. You in the
Yeah.
preview of this
The
in
first
on the
30
same in
minutes
the
of the
same
game was
podcast,
actually the
you
most beautiful I've seen of Chelsea play offensively. I mean, how many times
ever.
did you see? Yeah, how many
See,
times did you see? Let me come. How many times did you see something like three Chelsea attackers against three Madrid defenders? The way that we were breaking out, hitting them on the counter. Actually, it was a very good game, especially in the first half. It was quite end to end. I think in the second half, both of the teams became a bit more conservative. I really didn't understand the approach by Chelsea in particular. I think we could have been more adventurous because you just said that you would prefer a 1-all over a nil-nil, but I would prefer a 2-all over a 1-all because I think that
Kalash, you
Chelsea,
talking,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, same.
you're talking about man advantage, right? Defensive advantage or a defensive Real Madrid team. Vedant, being a Real fan, you have to agree. Zidane was messed up with the three at the back defense.
see,
What he went for, that was a tactical blunder. Blunder. You have to accept
yeah,
that.
actually, you know what? He tried to bring the game to Tuchel because Tuchel starts with three at the back, right? And Zidane's classical formations are 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 diamond, which means four at the back. So what he wanted to do is take the game to Chelsea. That's why he wanted a three at the back. And about the first 25 to 30 minutes, I would like to say a lucky result for Madrid side two, as the opening 25 minutes could have resulted in the could have resulted in Chelsea scoring more than two goals or three goals. However, ever since Benzema's goal, the game was much more balanced in my opinion. Although the Blues or Chelsea were a better team yesterday,
Yeah,
they were
definitely
composed in
right.
their
Chirag,
midfield.
Talking
Chirag, you
about
just said that you are happy with the 1-all draw. But I don't think because I think that this game, you said that obviously before the game Chelsea weren't favorites, and that is why you
yes,
would have taken the
definitely.
1-all draw. But we've
Also to
played the game.
mention,
Yeah,
Chelsea were far more composed in their midfield. They totally overwhelmed Real's prestigious three peak-winning midfield: Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro. I think Jorginho and Kante not exactly pocketed them, but kept them silent for most of the game, in my opinion.
Yes,
I
And
think
when the
and
Kante
midfield three
yeah,
didn't
definitely
click,
helps.
Real were in deep trouble because a lack of tranquility in the midfield, a lack of creativity in the attack. Madrid were second rate tonight, in my opinion.
yeah, talking about the midfield, right? One tactical setup that we saw was Zidane deployed Marcelo, the out of favor Marcelo, into the at the wing back position, but he was often seen wandering in the midfield alongside Casemiro, if you could see, right? But
Yeah,
what was he doing? Did we see the battle of like physical battle Kante versus Marcelo? See, according to me, I have seen Kante playing for like more than 4 years now, and yesterday he was at his absolute best yesterday according to me. if you are going against a player who is not in form and that too out of position in a tactical setup where he has to play roles of two players, you cannot go against Kante. Zidane made a blunder there because Kante himself is equal to two players. You have to agree with this.
See,
If he is
see,
in
I'll
the
tell you
defending
why.
part, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you why Zidane used Marcelo, because in the previous games, even in the thrashing of Cadiz, we won 3-0. Marcelo played as a left wing back slash left mid. And that's the new position he's been given by Zidane when he tries to use three at the back system. And when he's not using three at the back, Marcelo doesn't start. So whenever we're playing a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, whatever, Marcelo is the left wing back and not Folon Mendy. Because Folon Mendy is a bit defensive in his approach.
No, I agree with this fact. Like, one more thing, like off camera, guys, we were discussing about the Chelsea and Madrid 11s, and that day we had Vedant like pitching for Modric
Yeah.
over Mount. Yesterday, did you see the Modric versus Mount battle? I won't say that
Yeah.
Mount
I
is better
mean,
than
after
Modric's
yesterday,
prime.
if you want to go with yesterday's match and you want to make a combined 11 only based on yesterday's match, it would probably be Kante, Jorginho and Mount with the way that midfield did perform
No,
yesterday.
no,
I think it
I
was.
can agree. Cruz did control the second half, taking nothing away
I
from
think
Real
Yeah.
Madrid.
Cruz and Casemiro did control the second half. So I think if we have to make a
Yes.
combined 11 out of yesterday's performance, I would go five in the midfield because I think Chelsea's midfielders were world class yesterday. They are world class in general, anyways. But looking at the
And I,
game,
yeah,
like I said, the game was in the midfield, and yeah, it was there in the midfield. I
I would
predicted
just
it right.
appreciate Vedant. Yeah, when we asked him about where will the battle be won, he predicted it to be in the midfield. So, guys, I think he deserves some applause that he obviously predicted that. However, it went against him because Chelsea's midfield was much better than. So, then talking about the two goals. First of all, the Pulisic goal. Palash, did you
no,
have
no.
that
Let's
Torres
let's
vibes?
talk about let's talk about something bigger that happened before the Pulisic goal. Chirag, I want to know your opinions on the
I was
'Turbo Timo,
23rd 23rd miss by 23rd. What number is it? I'm not so sure. It's like 17 in the
20
Premier League.
second, 20-second.
22nd
Acha,
miss,
missed.
big chance missed. Big chance missed by Timo
Oh,
Werner. Chirag.
oh my
No, I
God.
would just say, see, we all know he had pressure. He was playing in pressure, right? He missed the one chance. I completely agree. He missed the biggest opportunity of the match. That match would have got the highest XG. That shot would have been the highest
The
XG
thing
given
is,
to that.
Chirag, yeah, the thing is, if he is low on confidence, if he's not taking the chances right now, why is Thomas Tuchel starting him?
I'll agree.
Do you
No,
not
no, no.
agree
I'll tell
that
you.
Tammy Abraham, Olivier Giroud would, or even Kai
No, no,
Havertz for the matter, would have finished that chance?
no. I would
I
just
think
agree with
Tammy
you
Abraham
because
would have, or Giroud.
no, no. Everyone would. I even think if you put Kepa in right at that position, he
Exactly.
would have also finished that. No, obviously, it
No,
was a
but to be
1v1,
honest, you need
right?
to give credits to Courtois too because he was world
Yeah.
class yesterday. He made great saves yesterday. So you need to give
Unless
him credit too.
he was thrown on the ground by Pulisic, until the
For
point he
that,
was
you
thrown
can't.
at the ground.
Yeah, yeah. For that, you can't blame him because Marcelo was literally staring at Pulisic and the ball coming from up. Literally,
No,
he
no,
was
but
just
I
looking at Pulisic, and I think it's his fault because he was literally. I think the scenario was he was literally standing here. Pulisic was here, and he's literally looking at the ball coming, and he's literally doing nothing. Same goes for Nacho and Varane. They were literally running back, and I don't know. They could have done
and
something better with that.
this is the reason Palash Werner did start. See, however experienced the defensive line for Real would be, but they do not have pace. We saw that Chelsea did outrun the whole game yesterday because Chelsea's players are definitely young and have the fresh legs to take on any player right now. So Werner, for his speed, was used. If you could have seen, like when Kante was getting his in his open positions, Werner was making runs behind the defensive line that was helping Chelsea to open up the play. Kante was getting in his position due to Werner exploiting the defense or dragging the defenders alongside him whenever he got in open positions. I agree that Kai Havertz could have made a difference, but not Tammy or Giroud because both of
I
them do
think
not.
Giroud, you can argue is not that fast. His running is not that good. Tammy, I think he's fast enough. His runs have been wise. I definitely think that Tammy would have made a difference. Firstly, he
But
would have definitely buried the chance, and he could have provided what Werner also does. Probably not as
starting,
efficiently.
yeah. But starting Tammy Abraham in a game in a UCL semi-final after not playing him for like last 15 games, I think starting. Or never started against
Yeah,
Tuchel. I don't even remember.
that is something I agree on, but it is all a chain. I think why is Tammy not starting? I think he had one poor half. I think it was some Premier League game. He was subbed off at half time. Since then, he
See,
hasn't
what
been
I'll tell you all
playing.
about Tammy
One second,
Abraham
one
is that
second. Yeah.
whenever I've
Two
seen him
Chelsea fans are
start,
talking. Just shut up for now. Yeah. So he was subbed off at half time. Since then, he hasn't played. Since then, Werner has been playing. He has been below par. He's been even in the games that he's been good. Say the West Ham game, he scored a goal. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
it was West Ham.
yeah,
Okay,
West
so
Ham.
he scored a goal, but then he missed one also just minutes after. So it's
See,
not like
and
Werner has
yeah.
been so good that you need to earn your starts. Do you think Timo Werner is earning his starts right now?
See, after the game as well, Tuchel did mention about why he started Werner. If you don't believe in Tuchel, I don't think we can go far ahead. But Werner is being used to exploit defensive lines that are playing very high. Yesterday, Vedant can agree his Madrid line was playing very high up the field, and only one thing that could have beaten them was their pace, was anyone's pace. Pulisic scored the goal because he had the pace. He ran behind the defenders. Then we had Mason Mount, who was running around Modric or the midfield because of his pace. So just to add the extra bit of pace, we needed Timo Werner, and I don't think Tammy Abraham has that pace in him to outlast Timo Werner. Timo Werner makes very smart runs if we get the ball correct. And if you let me now let's go to the next point that happened was the Benzema goal. See, Chelsea has conceded last two games in the UCL, and that too have been the best goals of the whole league, I would say. Yesterday, Benzema's goal was class. Being a Chelsea fan, I could have appreciated that goal because
No,
I
no. To
know
be
there was
honest,
he was
the goal by Benzema was good, but the comparison that you've made with Taremi goal, I think it's not too fair because that goal was a moment of brilliance in which neither Chelsea's
yeah.
defender nor Edouard
Plus,
Mendy
this
could
is
have
the
done
third kind of goal. Plus, this is
anything
the
better.
third kind of goal, the same type of goal Benzema scored in the UCL. Like
But
he's done it against Inter
yesterday's goal,
Milan
it
and
was
against Shakhtar Donetsk.
but
never
according to
asked.
me
But
the
okay,
blunt
okay, yeah. The thing I was saying is
the but the
that Marcel. One second. Marcelo delivered the cross. It was first a header won by Casemiro. Then I think it was 2 to 3 headers that were won in
Militao.
the box.
Yeah.
Then was Militao,
No,
and
it was
Militao's
Casemiro. I'm
ball.
pretty sure.
Yeah, Casemiro, then to Militao, and then
Then
to
to
it
Militao to
did fall to
Benzema. So I
Benzema.
mean,
fall
it's
to
Yeah.
Benzema.
we're letting so many Madrid players win headers after headers, and obviously it's not going to be good for us, right?
That
You
too in your
can't let
That is the
landbox.
point.
you can't let the
Experience.
opposition
Yeah,
you can't let the opposition team win what 4 headers from the same corner. Definitely not.
but that is my point where Real's experience did come off. Chelsea were looking a bit shaky in their defense when they were defending set pieces, not in the open place, always in the set pieces. Real did not have many shots inside the box in their open gameplay. The only shot I think so they took was the Karim Benzema's post that hit, and that was outside the box, right? So in their defensive play, obviously a team which is relatively young and is not so organized, Tuchel has just got 22 games. It is just according to me, and considering Zidane, who has won 3 UCL with the same team. So, considering that, I would have given that goal, and Benzema deserves all the respect yesterday. And according to me, if Cruz and Benzema were playing for Chelsea instead of Werner or maybe any other person in midfield, it was a 7-0 or 6-0 shambles for the other team. Vedant, you can agree with this.
Yeah, I can.
And
Also,
who are
Definitely.
man of the matches? Oh, Villan first. Hasn't
And
spoken since
Kante.
whatever.
okay, okay.
Kante. That's
Huh,
because
he
you haven't
deserved
let
it.
me to.
Yeah, because we were talking about Chelsea's defense. You started with Benzema appreciation.
No,
I'm going
idiot. I was talking
fine.
about
It's fine.
Tammy Abraham.
Yeah,
Anyways, let's go to
exactly.
the second leg. The second look, in my opinion, looks very open. Scoring at the Stamford Bridge will be tough, but we reduce the possible away goals to just one. Chelsea did have a better game, but they might rue their chances in the second leg. Heading into London, we must revamp our team and start the game with a different mentality because yesterday Madrid were too poor in the first half. That's really
And
not
any
Real
other,
Madrid. And I think if
yeah,
we get eliminated by Chelsea, it's gonna be because we were tired of the three games. It's not an excuse, but it's a fact because we faced Barcelona, Liverpool, and we
and but you
almost
have to
used
give
the
the
same
credits to the
lineup.
team, right?
Yeah, and
You have
Chelsea
to
played
give
world
credits to
class.
the
Chelsea were way
Chelsea.
too good yesterday for
Yeah,
us.
yes, after the
They
game,
were
and
I think
maybe
they were aggressive even off the ball.
yeah, exactly. And I just want to add one more thing I saw in the game yesterday. See, N'Golo Kante won the Man of the Match award. But if Mateo Kovacic was in place of N'Golo Kante yesterday, he would have ruined the back line. If you had seen, Kante is not
This
the
was the
best player in
perfect
attacking
game.
front
This was the perfect game for
for
Mateo
Mateo
Kovacic.
Kovacic.
I mean,
He would have
if
won the
he
Man of the
was
Match
if he
definitely.
was fit yesterday, I mean, even while seeing the game, I was like, okay, this game needed Kovacic because this is the thing that he's been doing all season with the tough physicality of the Premier League. Madrid was so open yesterday. He's been doing it with tight midfields, with tight defenses, and he's been so effective at it. I mean, this is probably the first time that we've seen N'Golo Kante do this. He's more about winning the ball, passing it to his teammate. This time he was involved in a lot more ball carrying, and this is the first time he did it, and he did it so effectively. So imagine Kovacic, who's done this all season very effectively, probably the best in the Premier League, acted, would have thrived at this game.
And we also need to appreciate Real Madrid for the second half. They did make a comeback. They did not allow Chelsea to go into the get into the spaces again. Once it was changed to a back four, then Real was looking into their own game again. And Palash, what about Eden Hazard's return against Chelsea?
Not too bothered about it. It wasn't even a start. Nothing too great about it. Fine,
But
there are stories attached to it. There, obviously, his former club. He is a club legend, but I think we should focus on our club right now. And talking about the second half, I saw no way that Chelsea could go past a
open
Madrid
up.
defense, which was uh, having four defenders at the back, midfielders supporting them, and lying so deep. I never thought that Chelsea would be able to break that defense, particularly in the second half, and that did not happen as well.
Vedant, what was the change that you saw in the Madrid team that blocked Chelsea or got the better of Chelsea?
See, I think we switched back to a 4-3-3 when Eden Hazard, Marco Asensio came up. Marco Asensio was the right winger, Hazard was the left winger, Marcelo was subbed off, and in the final minutes, Benzema was subbed off. They switched to a 4-3-3. Toni Kroos and Luka Modric were lying deep inside their own boxes. So I think, yeah, that's how we stopped Chelsea in the second half.
So did you see Madrid scoring in the second half? Chelsea or not? Did you see Madrid scoring?
I think we could have scored one more goal, but it's fine. No more regrets. We go in the second leg.
What?
So moving on to the next game.
No, I think
Yeah.
what last question? What changes would you make to Chirag to Chelsea in the second leg?
Chelsea in the second leg. Starting, see, I would just hint up a thing. If you have to know what Chelsea squad is going to face Madrid in the second leg, you have to watch the game on the weekend. If you did see, most of us lineup was same considering the West Ham game, or rather it was completely same.
Yeah, it was
completely same,
exactly
right?
the same, but I don't think that will be the
Yeah.
case right now. I think he will
No. If
play the
you
second best
want to see
lineup
some bold
for Fulham.
decision, no. If you want to see some bold decisions like Azpilicueta trying on the right wing back position, you have to see such changes in the Fulham game. Tuchel will definitely try something new in the Fulham game so that he can implement in the Real game. But according to me, if I had to make changes, Mateo Kovacic comes in directly, and I would
For
replace him with Jorginho. For
for
Jorginho,
Jorginho
not for
and
Kante. See, Kante, yeah, Kante is winning that physical battles with everyone, be it Modric, Cruz, anyone. He can win any physical battle, be it Benzema. But
problem with
I would put
replacing
in
Jorginho, yeah, the problem with replacing Jorginho over here is that Jorginho is acting as the deepest midfielder, and he is the one which is receiving balls from the goalkeeper, from the centre backs, scanning very well, turning well, and effectively playing out from the back. And N'Golo Kante has been sloppy on the ball at times, and I don't really think that if Chelsea decide to play out from the back, Kante can effectively do what Jorginho has been doing.
Yeah, but definitely for me, right, the main thing is that similar role can be played by Andres Christensen or either Thiago Silva. If you consider Andres Christensen, he has been playing as the lone DM, the Jorginho role in for his Denmark Danish team or the Denmark team. So I think we can get Christensen doing the passing of Thiago Silva because he was not involved so much in the passing yesterday. Thiago Silva was just lying next to their keeper Mendy. And the main change I would do is put in Kai Havertz. As soon as Kai Havertz and Ziyech were on the pitch yesterday, the Real's defense was like, we need to defend something because they were opening spaces, they were putting in good balls, but they did not have much time to make an impact. So, what are the changes you expect, Vedant?
I put
Back three.
would personally bring in
No,
a
I would
three
go
five
for a
four.
4-3-3.
for Real
We're
Madrid.
done talking about Chelsea. We're done talking about Chelsea. We're
Yeah,
talking about Real Madrid, and let me talk
yeah,
because I
right.
know my team better than you. See, I think we'll go
But
for a
I'm talking
4-3-3
about
because that's
Chelsea.
a
Chirag
classical
spoke about
formation.
Chelsea, and then
No,
it
no,
was
no.
my
He
turn to
Asked
just
speak
him.
about
he just
Chelsea.
stopped the conversation about Chelsea. I think you
Yeah,
became too late.
I
See,
think
talking
the
about
more
Real Madrid,
emphasis
if
should be
Ferland
given to
Mendy is
the club.
available,
Let me complete.
yeah.
I think
Ferland
more
Mendy.
emphasis should be given to the more popular club. I know no one wants to see Real Madrid content on podcasts and YouTube and all.
sure. I'm so sure about this, Palash. I'm so sure.
No, no. Vedant,
So
continue.
stupid. See, Ferland Mendy will be available for the second leg, so he starts at left back, and I would watch Varane and Nacho. I would rest Militao and start him for the Osasuna game, and even Federico Valverde will be available. So one more change I would like to make is start Federico Valverde and not choose Luka Modric because he's in the last 4 to 5 games. I've only seen him tired. He's lost balls a lot, and I think he needs a rest. So he gets
And
the rest,
yeah,
and front three should be Hazard, Benzema, and Asensio because the creativity was missing yesterday. And Eden Hazard created, I think, two big chances. Yeah, he created two big chances yesterday. So yeah, Eden Hazard starts on the left because Vinicius was too silent yesterday. He was just running. We
yesterday.
just saw a
Yes.
When
brink
did
of his
Eden Hazard
acceleration.
create two big chances yesterday?
Yeah, he
One to
did. The first
Odriozola and the
chance.
other I don't remember.
They were big
Yeah.
chances. It was just to me. That wasn't a big chance.
No,
Big
no.
chance is something that
They
I
you
don't
would
know.
had
I
call
a
read
big.
it
better
on
XG.
Instagram.
Yeah, they had a better XG. These chances had a better XG in the second half because there was some really
No, the
good
thing
goal
is,
scoring
to
opportunities.
be classified as a big chance, it needs to be something which has a particular XG. Suppose chance that Timo Werner missed. That was a big chance. I don't think Madrid created even one big chance in the second half.
We did.
Second chance
We did.
when
Once or
when
twice.
ball hit Ben Chilwell on the face and was near the post. That was a big chance. I think
Yeah.
when they had a free header. Varane had a Casemiro had a free header, right?
It was
Yeah.
Militao. I'm not
That was
sure.
shot by Hazard, I think.
Yeah, that was assisted by Hazard, I think. Not shot.
Yeah.
The
Shot
ball
was
which
either
hit
by
Chilwell.
some
The ball which
yeah
hit
yeah,
Chilwell.
yeah on
No,
the face. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a corner from Tony Cruz.
torn corner. Okay, but they had
No,
good
I
chances.
don't think so.
Saw Hazard. But
Hmm.
see, Palash, it was a fear running down my spine whenever I saw Hazard dribbling. We know he has been a master in finishing of 1-all games or the 0-0 games with his impact. So it was
Sad
fear.
thing being, I don't know that.
Should we
Uh,
Because
spend
he
the last
hasn't done
10
that for
minutes?
us.
Should we spend the last 10 minutes of this podcast talking about the other game? It's only 10 minutes
yeah,
left now.
definitely, definitely. Let's move to
Definitely.
the Man City and PSG game. The
Let's start.
so the Man City, yeah, Man City and PSG game. Definitely the game everyone in the football thinks that it would be the better game or it would be the more tactical game as compared to Real Madrid and Chelsea, who were not considered the best in their teams. But yesterday we saw a very great match, and I am expecting something similar. What is your take, Vedant?
I think PSG's attacking prowess has been evident in the recent weeks, and Pochettino's men have scored at least 3 to 4 goals in 7 of their last 9 games. Like in those 9 games, those 7 matches, they've at least scored 3 goals. So yeah, and plus PSG rely on their attacking prowess, and Man City not having a natural striker in that formation is going to be a problem for them because it was evident against Spurs that they had to create a lot of chances to at least get 1 goal.
So being a Premier League follower, Palash, what is your take on Man City?
I think Man City are definitely the favorites to win the competition and all. I just read it on One Football. It was according to 538 that Manchester City have a 55% chance according to them to win the UEFA Champions League. I don't think it's that straightforward considering PSG's attack, but they've taken into account Manchester City's defensive solidarity because PSG have been about most of them. It's been about their goal scoring and over reliance on two players. And I think Manchester City, the way they've defended, are good enough to contain those two players, which Bayern Munich clearly couldn't do. So for me, Manchester City would definitely be favorites going for this game. I'm not so sure which team I'm supporting because I'm not. I don't even know if Chelsea's in the final yet. If Chelsea's in the final, I would be hoping that Manchester City win it because I think we've got a better chance to defeat Manchester City than PSG. But if Real in the final, then I would be hoping for PSG.
So next, talking about the two managers. See, both of them are world-class managers. Both of them have the experience of playing in big matches. It is going to be Pep versus Pochettino, something that we have seen in the Premier League for the last more than 4 years, I think. And this is going to be again at the biggest stage. Earlier there was a problem. Pochettino did not have the best of the teams. No disrespect to Spurs, but they did not have world-class players like Neymar, Mbappe, or anyone from the backline, Marquinhos, anyone. So
I mean,
how will you
if you
take?
say that Spurs is a shit team, then it would still not be disrespectful because it's just a fact right now.
No, no. So talking about PSG, Sam. So how do you see? Pochettino is the defensive manager. We all know that fact. He's not that attacking like Pep Guardiola is. So how do you see this? Who's
I
going to
think
take the
more than
tactical win?
Pochettino has come in the middle of the season. I don't think his philosophy has been implemented extremely well at PSG right now. I mean, they were extremely good in the first leg against Bayern Munich, but I could see Bayern a better Bayern side on a other day would have easily knocked PSG out. I think, as I've pointed before, they are over reliant on two players, and their defense hasn't been that good. Neither in the League One, which is a weak league in that aspect as well. So I think the Manchester City will contain Neymar and Mbappe. I think that they will not let in more than one goal, and I do think that they can score easily 2 to 3 goals.
And talking about tactics, there is no one better than a Madrid fan to talk about tactics. So Vedant, how do you see Pep Guardiola, the best man in this field?
See, I don't regularly follow Man City or PSG, but what I feel is that Man City do have an upper hand because they have the better squad over PSG, defensively speaking, and even in the midfield. So, yeah, Man City do have an upper hand. But the problem is that they don't have a natural number nine. Aguero has been there, but he's been injured and he doesn't rely on Gabriel Jesus much. So, we'll see what happens. In my opinion, the first leg is going to be a draw.
I think the counter-attacking game by PSG could be vital for this leg because Manchester City have been, uh, victims of some good counter-attacking goals of late. We saw one with against Chelsea with the
Yeah.
Ziyech goal, one assist. So PSG do have a lot of pace, a lot of skill on the counter, and I think this is one aspect of the game that uh, if Diaz, Stones, the backline is exposed as it was against Chelsea, I don't think they were necessarily good defending those counter attacks against Chelsea. So if that is one aspect where PSG can get the better of Guardiola's men.
Plus, yesterday a PSG fan told me that against Mets, Mbappe was injured or something, and it was just a light injury. So he will be starting, of course, but I think he won't be at 100%. So that gives Man
And
City
not
the advantage.
completing the 90. And not completing the 90.
That I don't have
Will
any
it?
clue about.
See,
But he won't
so
be at
just
100%,
get
that's
it.
for
Yeah.
sure, because he had a knock.
But his speed would be so much better than for City, I guess. And I think if City has to win this game, their fullbacks have to be at their best, according to me, because
This is
tracking
one
back.
thing yeah,
Yeah,
because I
same.
think
Talking about
City will go
fullbacks,
for just a minute. I think City will go for Kyle Walker at right back and Joao Cancelo at the left back as they've gone for big games. I don't think they trust either Zinchenko or Benjamin Mendy enough. And I think Kyle Walker versus whichever PSG attacker plays on the left can be Neymar would be a very key battle of here.
so
So
what's
just
your
ending
predicted
up,
lineup, Palash
yeah,
and Chirag
For
yeah,
Manchester
definitely.
for
City, I'll go
PSG?
for definitely Edison in goal. The back four, as I said, would be Walker, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo. The midfield three, I would guess, would be again, they've got quite a standard lineup this season.
Rodri,
Rodri, Gundogan, and which is the third one?
De Bruyne? No, not
De
the De
Bruyne.
Bruyne. De
Bernardo
Bruyne, yeah.
Silva. But no,
Okay,
I
Bernardo
think
Silva, yeah.
De Bruyne would definitely play ahead. I think Foden should start this game with De
Not
Bruyne.
Sterling.
Sterling, I
Not
don't think
Sterling.
he's been. I don't think he's been that particularly impressive because if they've not played with a striker, it's either Sterling or De Bruyne. De Bruyne has actually played as you wouldn't say a striker, but through the middle. So I think a front three of so is the case with Chelsea. At times when Chelsea hasn't played someone like Tammy or Giroud, the front three
So let's
have
get
been
it quick.
quite rotating.
Let's
So
get
I
it quick.
think
Front three of
Foden, De Bruyne, either of Mahrez and Sterling.
Mahrez deserves it after the Great Cup final. Vedant, any three predictions of from for the game? We know you are getting becoming a prediction master of the channel. So any three predictions
I think
with the
it's gonna
score
be a draw, 2-all.
and any big prediction. Yesterday you predicted
I
Benzema would score a screamer. He missed by just inches.
Yeah,
So anything.
I think I predicted Modric would score a screamer, but he didn't score.
Yeah, he
So
predicted
Oh,
Modric
okay.
would score.
Okay, okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anything.
Also talking about the PSG lineup, I think Navas is at goal. Obviously, Florenzi at right back, Marquinhos and Kimpembe, and Amad Diallo at left back. Then uh, what's that guy's name? Guy, right?
Gee,
Idrisil
yeah.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guy at CDM. Then Paredes and Verratti, central midfielders. Then at left wing, I'll have Neymar, right wing Di Maria, and striker Mbappe.
And super sub Choupo-Moting.
He's at Bayern.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. He switches club so easily, na, so no one remembers.
Yeah.
Last time he was the reason PSG was out of the UCL. I think so. Something of that's what happened. Next, moving on to your
Who
predictions,
wins the
Palash.
entire tie? Just one team. Who wins the entire tie?
Tie City.
Vedant.
City.
I'll
Palash,
go
your
for
prediction.
I'll go for PSG. Do you want to do the conclusion? It's just a minute left, Vedant.
Yeah, I concluded. So, guys, that was the video for today. We are posting daily, 5 days a week. I hope you all are enjoying our content. We hope to keep you updated with the daily football news. Tomorrow, we'll come up with a controversial topic. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.